Okay, everybody, let's turn to page 273 for the Solve and Discuss It. It says Sally wants to use all the paint shown to make a certain tint of orange paint. How many pints of red paint should be mixed with 24 pints of yellow to make the same tint of orange? All right, so we're going to label our paint, which is always a good idea to do. So we know starting out that we have 3 yellow paints to 7 red. All right, we're going to need to use 24 of the yellow, all right, in order to get our orange that we want to mix. So we're looking for this right here. All right, so what is it times 3 that can get us 24? Well, it's 8. 8 times 8 times, oh, I don't know why I wrote this. This should be a 4. All right, this is a 4, so 8 times 4 will get us 32, so we'll need 32 pints of red paint in order to get our orange. Okay, everyone, let's turn over to page 274 and follow along as I read through. How can you find the equivalent of ratios? For every 16 basketball players in Crystal County schools, there are 48 soccer players. So you can almost think that it's 3 times as many. If the ratio remains constant and there are 64 basketball players, how many soccer players are there? So right now, you should be thinking that, oh, well, we're multiplying 16 times 4 to get that 64, so we'll need to do the same thing with 48. So the two quantities that are being prepared, and how would you write the ratio relationship? The quantities being compared are the number of basketball players to the number of soccer players, which is 16 to 48. As we can see here, written 2 different ways. Right, I would probably do the fraction version. You'll see why in a minute. All right, number of basketball players. Here's one way using a graph. You can use the structure and ratio table to find equivalent ratios. We make a table with equivalent ratios. We're just going to double it. That's 32, 96, triplet, 48, 44, and then quadruple it, and there we get our 64. There are 192 soccer players when there's 64 basketball players. Okay. Another way to do it, which is the way that we'll probably go with, is use multiplication. By what number would you multiply both terms to find an equivalent ratio that compares 64 basketball players to the other number of soccer players? Well, we can see that 4 will get us what we need. So we multiply the top and bottom by 4, and that results in 192 soccer players. So let's look at the try it. It says if you extend the table, how would you find the next set of ratios of basketball players? All right, so if we were to extend the table, what we would do is that we would multiply the top and bottom by 5. And for some reason, it's not letting me annotate over this. So the top would be 80, because 16 times 5 is 80. The bottom would end up being 240, okay? So we're basically adding 48 to both the top, we're adding 48 to the bottom and adding 16 to the top. All right, let's turn to page 275 of your book. It says the circumference of a circle C is the distance around the circle. The diameter of a circle is a segment that passes through the center and it has both endpoints on the circle. Pi is the ratio of the circumference of a circle to its diameter. So 22 to 7 or 22 over 7. The ratio is approximately 66 to 21. Which of the following ratios are equivalent to 66 to 21? All right, so if we make a table, we have this here. We can see that we're dividing by 3. So we have 22 to 7, 44 to 14, 66 to 21, which is what we want, and 88 to 28. So all of these, with the exception of 33 to 10, would work. All right, which of the following ratios are equivalent to 16 to 20? So we can see that we would have, this is not going to work, 4 to 5, because if we take 16 to 20 and divide by 4, that'll work. So that's 4 to 5. 18 to 22 will not work, and then 20 to 25 also reduces oops, by 5 will also reduce to 4 to 5. Okay, everyone, let's turn to page 275 at the top for example 2. It said Sarah made baskets on some of her shots in a basketball game. If she continues to make baskets at the same rate, how many baskets will Sarah make in her next 6 shots? All right, so if we take a look, we'll make a table. Shots taken is 6. We have 4, so our original is 18 to 12. So we're just dividing by 2, dividing by 3. So we're just now going backwards. We're reducing it down if you think of it like a fraction, okay? Except with this, you will not have mixed numbers because they're technically ratios, right? So in the next 6 shots, she'll have 4 baskets. So we can say that her success rate is 4 to 6, okay? And then here it says Rashida, and I'm telling you, as before, labels go a long way. We have tomatoes to onions, all right? And according to this, it says Rashida uses 8 cups of tomatoes and 3 cups of onions to make a salsa. How many cups of onions, so we're going to be looking for this here, will she need if she's using 4 cups of tomatoes? So now we're not multiplying, but we're dividing down. So we divide by 2. All right, and when we divide by 2, we have 3. We're cutting it in half. All right, so when we cut it in half, we're saying it's 1.5 cups. All right, because remember, this is a ratio, technically not a fraction.